Hi everybody, I'm making this video because I really need to get stuff off my chest. So as some of you know, like I've explained before, that I suffer from really bad anxiety. So it's really early in the morning and I'm just wearing my pajamas, so please excuse me. I've had another sleepless night. I managed to sleep a couple of hours but woke up because, you know, my anxiety picking up nightmares and things. So I really want to discuss something. It's about my OCD, and I have this obsession with death. I've had this obsession for as long as I can remember, ever since some of my first memories when I was a child. I'd be watching the news and it would say that, you know, someone had died, and I'd start asking questions all the time. You know, how did this person die, and why, and how old were they, and you know, all that kind of thing. So I think that's probably pretty normal. But you know, when I was a young child, it was something I was excited about. I was obsessed with death. I was always told it was very morbid. I would always talk about it. And I wasn't fearful of it or anything, you know, it was something I embraced. I don't know why. I remember when I was 10 years old, I said to my teacher that I can't wait to die. And she was shocked. She didn't know what to say to me. I've worked in a funeral directors, and I assisted in them doing some embalming and things like that. And when I got to about 17, it changed. So I don't know why or how. I don't know why it changed, but all of a sudden this obsession, it became a fear, a phobia. And that's when I started having really severe panic attacks over death and over my health as well. I do have hypochondria, so every time, you know, I get a feeling in my body of something, you know, every time I get a headache, for instance, I'm like, oh no, I think, you know, I'm having a stroke. Or at some point I was really obsessed with my heart, you know, things like that. But it's not just focused on my health, it's focused on a lot of other things. I could be sitting in a restaurant and I would be thinking that someone's going to come in with a gun and start firing. Everybody around me, not just myself, I'll envision these really horrible, terrible things happening to them. Or I'll be driving down, I'll be in the car and I'll have these visions of having this major car accident and being in the hospital and dying, and you know, it just all the time, it never goes away. So it's been such a long time, and recently I've been getting really anxious again. I'm not sure why, and I had a really severe panic attack just the other night. I could just have a panic attack out of nowhere. Recently it's got a little bit better, but I don't know what this fear is so debilitating. I mean, it affects every aspect of my life. I just can't get these obsessive thoughts out of my head, and sometimes it's like I can't explain it. Even though I'm so terrified of it, I'll have to go and look on the internet pictures of dead bodies or something like that, and I don't know why I do that. Even though it makes it worse. Like, I've tried so many things to try and get myself better. I've had therapy and I've really looked into it and researched it. I've heard that there's this thing called phantophobia, where it's a real fear of death. I mean, I'm so scared of going to hospitals. I'm really scared. I'd rather not go to a hospital. I mean, even if I think I'm really sick, I won't go because I'm so scared of hospitals. I will have a panic attack. Every time I drive past a funeral home, I have to close my eyes. I can't look at it. It's like I'm just so terrified with this feeling of death. And it feels like a really lonely existence. That's what I can say. I feel so alone with this, even though I'm understanding more that it's actually, I don't know whether this is right saying it's pretty common, but I do know a lot of people have these fears, and I'm not sure whether it's exactly whether it is obsessive compulsive disorder or just generalized anxiety or whatever, but it's the fear grips me. There's not a day goes by that I don't think about death, and a couple of times I've been put in the hospital psychiatric ward, because you go through the assessment and they ask you, do you have thoughts of death and things like that, and I say yes, I do. I think about death all the time, and they take that to mean that they think I mean suicide, and I don't. I mean, I had 2 suicide attempts, but it was years ago. I'd never ever do that. I'd never ever want to go as far as want to kill myself again. But they don't understand, when I try and tell them, it's just really obsessive thoughts, and it terrifies me. Sometimes it's worse than other times, but with the health anxiety too, and I'm not sure which way. I don't know whether the fear of death itself first started the health anxiety, or if it was the other way around. I think it was the former. I think that the health anxiety came as a result of this phobia and this obsession with death, and I'm not sure exactly what triggered it. When I was a little girl, before I was a teenager, I mean, it started getting really bad when I was about 17. That's when the fear started. I was 17 when it became the opposite, something I was terrified of. But I'm not sure exactly what triggered that. I don't know. But I want to talk about this because I think it'd be nice for the people to realize they're not alone, like I have. And it's something you feel kind of ashamed and embarrassed to talk about sometimes, because it's like, I don't know, like a lot of people don't want to talk about death. They ignore it or they hide from it, and I can't. It's constantly in my head. I'll go to sleep at night thinking about it, and I'll wake up in the morning thinking about it. It's the first thing. It's been like that for so many years, and I don't know what I can do to make it go away. It really affects my life so much. Like, sometimes I can't go places because I'm so scared, or I can't go and hang out with my friends, or I'll avoid certain situations. It's like I have anxiety about the anxiety itself, but I just wish this fear of death, this phobia of death would go away. I mean, it grips you, that's all I can say. It just totally grips you, and I'd love to find a solution to this. I'm so scared that I'm gonna feel like this the rest of my life. I mean, it's already been the fear of death is already been like 8 or 9 years already, and it seems a lifetime, even though it's not. It just seems forever when it's one of the only things that you can concentrate on and focus on. And I've tried so many things to help me. I mean, I've talked to therapists and psychiatrists about it. I've read loads of books on the subject, and I don't know what I can do to stop this. It's just those of you who go through the same thing will understand that this fear is more than fear. It's just more than fear. I don't know what it is, and I don't know, and I've got to be. And anyway, I just wanted to make this video today because I kind of needed to get it out of my system. But it's horrible, and it makes me very depressed, very, very depressed as well. This anxiety. I obviously have more than just anxiety over the death. I've been diagnosed post-traumatic stress disorder, generalized anxiety disorder, panic disorder, OCD. I've got major depressive disorder. I've been diagnosed by borderline personality disorder. I've got an eating disorder. There's so many different things going on, but it seems like this main thing is this obsession with death, and I want to stop it. I'm so terrified of it. It's like I will be walking down the street, and every person that passes me, I'll think of their death. I'll see bad accidents happening all the time. I have nightmares. I have dreams about it. I've tried so many things to stop it. I'm trying to think about other things. I've tried meditation. I take medications and things, and it's still nothing seems to work or to stop this. And I wish that it was, people have said to me, well, just don't think about it. Well, you know, I really wish that was the case, because even if I don't want to think about it, it's still there. And I read a book not too long ago, Overcoming Obsessive Thoughts, and it said, you know, instead of trying to stop them, kind of embrace them and let them come, because the more you try and stop it, the worse it will be. So I've been doing that, and it's eased it a little bit, but still not much. And I just want to get rid of this fear of death. Another sleepless night, another, you know, I feel awful. This past 5 days my anxiety has been like really up here, and I don't know how I can deal with a panic disorder anymore. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to see the counsellor tomorrow, so I can discuss, and I've got another therapist appointment the day after that, so I've got 2 therapist appointments in a row at the moment. But yeah, I want to talk about this, and you know, if anybody else has, you know, who's watching this now, you know, I know how lonely you feel with it and how desperate you feel in your head, because it's like a desperation. Please make these thoughts stop. I don't want to see these things anymore, and it just doesn't, you know, and it is kind of, they kind of feel a bit shame for, you know, it's because people don't like to discuss it. And you know, really one of the only things every single person on this earth has in common is, I think, that all of us, every man, I think, is scared of death, at least in some way. Maybe not like me so much, and like others like me, but yeah. Leave some video responses for me, leave some comments, because maybe if we could get like a little group going together with the YouTube videos about this. I think out of all my anxiety I have, this is probably the worst. This phobia, this fear, this obsession with death, this is the worst by far of any other anxiety that I have. I don't go a day without anxiety. I don't know what it's like not to feel anxiety, but it's in different levels. So sometimes it's worse than other times. Sometimes it seems like I'm anxious for no reason at all, but most of the time I kind of know what I'm anxious about, and I try and stop it, and it's really hard. But yeah, I know a lot of people suffer from really bad mental illness, and you know what, I think if we get lots more awareness out there, we can really help people. I think if we all group together and try, maybe we can help more people and be supportive, because it's an extremely lonely existence. But you know what, we're not alone, we're not. So that's all I want to talk about for now. But if you could leave some comments for me, and I'll probably do some more videos. I need to try and sleep, but it's probably not going to happen. But thank you for watching this. I apologize for the state I'm in right now. I look horrible. I'm in my pajamas, you know, I'm tired. But I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Right, everybody, be safe out there, okay? Love you and peace to you all. Good night.